Hey, Cock 45, here I am sitting in the woods doing an old style, old school vlog, right? Here we are, gonna yak at you. Not a radio show, it's just me here in the woods telling you about some really important things. And you can tell I'm loaded for bear, can't you? I am ready. I am ready. Maybe not to tell you anything important, but I'm ready. If the zombies sneak up on us or the brown bears, we're prepared. Got Glock 41, which I mentioned recently in a Facebook posting that I purchased from Glock. And we've got the Chris mag in it. How's that for being ready for bear? I don't know, 25 or 30 rounds right there. Big old 45s. That is really a nice firearm. Y'all still there? I enjoy that, and quite a bit. Wasn't sure whether I'd really want it or not, but the more I shot it, the more I liked it. And I think a lot of it is that thin slide. As much as I like the Glock 20 and the Glock, Glock 20, Glock 21, what else, Glock 30, they are all really sweet shooters. And any semi-automatic pistol with a heavy slide tends to be a really nice shooter. It doesn't, knock you around too much, and that's the case for, of course, the big Glocks and the 10 millimeter and the 45 for certain. You get a little bit more recoil with this thing, but there's just something about that slim slide, say that fast, and the added length of it. I don't know what it is. Even though it's no bigger than a 1911, really, I just like it, and I might even, I don't know, sell my Glock 21. That Glock 30S with the slim slide and this. The one thing that I have not really liked about the big Glocks was that barge-like slide out there, and so this gets rid of that for you. But again, you get a lot of recoil absorption with those slides. So, but anyway, I'm happy with it, and got my large magazine there Chris sent me. I'm ready for bear or anything else. And of course, with my little sharps here, I definitely am ready for bear. Guess what? I've even got a Barney bullet in case one sneaks up on us. And with a 45-70, it might probably just take one round. So I think I am prepared there. So right now she's unloaded. I'll close her up here. Don't want too much air to get into the barrel. Well, speaking of the Lyman here, the 70, which you had better have seen in two different videos. I bought the Glock. We don't really want to take guns. A lot of you make comments. It's interesting in the Facebook when I posted on this recently, saying, "Can't believe that Glock doesn't just give you the gun." I paid big bucks for this thing. Glock's wholesale prices are they're up there. Okay, so. But people make comment that they ought to give me the gun. Don't know about that. The thing is, we don't really want to take guns from the major manufacturers anyway, because we just don't. We just feel like it's better not to. Now we will take some gifts from like gun shops that send us guns and that kind of thing. But that's just the gun shop somewhere giving us a gun in appreciation or support for what we do. What else? Well, and I was going to say this Lyman. This Lyman is a gift, and I am very pleased with it. Very, very pleased. So we appreciate that from Lyman. We didn't feel like that's I don't know, too big a deal in terms of bias or anything. I don't think we're likely to be in a war trying to figure out which sharps 1874 is the best. If so, we'll deal with it at the time. But anyway, so if you feel like I'm biased, maybe you can attribute it to that or to just the fact that I love single shot rifles. Because I have several. I have, what do I have? The high wall, the sharps now again, Pedersoli here, Lyman, made by Pedersoli for Lyman. What else have I got? Oh yeah, the trapdoor, I like it. All my muzzle loaders are mostly single shots, the rifles. Did you know that? Yeah, I thought you would. But anyway, I'm a fan of single shot rifles, and I've not really found a negative on this gun yet, other than the fact that it makes you want to shoot it a lot. And the sight, if you're a purist, in terms of these kinds of firearms, you would probably scoff at the rear sight, maybe, even though it's a good sight, it's alignment. But people that really like to shoot these things out there at 600 or 1,000 yards, they like to put a $500 sight on them. You know, there's some unbelievable tang sights for these rifles. So this is kind of a minimalist tang sight, but it's just what I like because I'm not going to go compete in a big match with it. But yeah, beautiful gun, and we're happy to get it, and it's just beautiful. So anyway, I wanted to mention that. We want to try to keep you guys abreast of, you know, what we're doing. Not that everything is your business, just like your business is not my business, but just like you to kind of know. I try not to be biased, try to be objective, but I do have a lot of preferences. You know, we all know that, and you'll know if there's a reason for me to be biased, okay, or to suspect it, whatever. So, but anyway, back to the Glock. We, you know, with Ruger and Springfield and Walther, or you name it, all the manufacturers that make lots of guns, and we see them coming across our table regularly. You know, we appreciate the T&E guns that we either have to buy or send back, but not likely to really take any of those for free. Not that they would offer them. If it's some gun company that makes one thing, or you know, some obscure kind of pistol that wants to send us something badly, and that happens sometimes. They'll call. I've got a couple kind of in the works that'd like for us to review, look at their firearm, and you know, it's like, I don't know, we're not, you know, desperate to do that. It looks interesting. If you want to send it and not need it back, maybe we'll look at it, you know, that kind of thing. But it's not going to be a mainline, you know, gun manufacturer. But anyway, throw that out there. I just like guns, and I like to try them all if I can. But which reminds me, it's funny, we did the recent archery video, and the basics, archery basics, I think I called it. We have had so many people asking about doing archery videos, and I've been remiss, I haven't done them, and so we did it, and I want to do more, and I'm going to do more. We'll do some more things with that, not a lot, but there are a lot of you out there that are into archery, or you have interest in it. And you know, someone posted, oh, did you run out of guns? You know, and that might have just been joking around, but it's still, there is no end to the firearms. We do everything, as I've pointed out before, pretty much intentionally, okay? I mean, I use that word intentionally, you know, because we know what we're wanting to do and planning to do, and there is some randomness about it, but if we do a video, it's because we wanted to do a video on that, not because we ran out of firearms. We have so many firearms that we've not even done a video on in my possession, and so many that I've got notes on that people want to lend us that we'll get to. But part of the point I'm trying to make is we don't want to just do that. We could have probably another firearm, a different firearm in every day if we wanted, but we don't want to not do some chapter 2s on neat firearms, or some archery videos, some basics videos, vlogs, where some idiot like me goes out and sits in the woods, talks to the camera as if he's saying something anybody cares about, right? Or yaks on a radio show that's not really a radio show, you know. So we're going to keep doing the variety of things we do, and the firearms offers, you know, pile up meanwhile, and that's fine. We know we've got some firearms that we want to do, that we want to get to. John and I were just talking about a couple that we really need to get because we're anxious to do those videos. I've got some we haven't posted yet, we're anxious to post. So anyway, lots of guns, and that's part of the benefit of so many of you watching, and we appreciate it because it's easier to get a firearm now, and whether it's borrowed, whether it's something like this that somebody like Lyman makes us a special gift of, you know, that's really special because it just is. But anyway, we're going to do a lot of different things, and we're trying not to let the onslaught of requests and and offers and all that kind of thing really affect what we do, what we want to do anyway. Not to say we won't change something or do something differently or something different, but we don't want to affect the program, our basic mission and what we started out doing and what we continue to do and what a lot of you apparently like a little bit. So, we're just going to stick with what we do. If we want to do a video next week and nothing but trimming trees with a shotgun, we're going to do it because we get a lot of requests for it or something. Not that we're going to do that, but we might. Who knows? So anyway, we try to do things intentionally, and we do them the way we do them intentionally. It's not accidental. We have a lot of possibilities, a lot of different things we could do, but we do it the way we do it because we like it. And John and I maybe are a little selfish. We do things that we enjoy doing, and we do it the way that we like, and did that from the beginning, and we'll continue that because enough of y'all like it that I think we'll keep doing it, right? Speaking of doing the things the way we like to do it, I was going to mention the bodyguard video we just posted. Hope you got a little bit out of that if you were considering that firearm. That is an interesting firearm. I feel like I was too critical of it in a way because I was fumbling around trying to get the thing disassembled and reassembled, and I wanted to point out that I did figure out how that particular one comes apart best and goes back together the best way, thanks to some of your comments, a fellow I know that has one, and then just experimentation. I have discovered with that gun, and I posted it on, I annotated and put it in the description, because we try not to be better, or let's see, more complimentary of a firearm than it deserves, or more negative about a firearm than it deserves. I don't want to go too far in either direction. Just point out what I like and don't like, but based on my own biases, that sort of thing. But I know I was pretty hard on it. I mean, the gun has some problems. It didn't fire every time with ball ammo, at least, and then I struggled getting it apart. I discovered, though, in fact, since the video, I hated to do it because I struggled so much even after the video, cleaning it and then getting it back together. I lifted it apart. I messed with it so long, I finally just put it back in the case, put it in the safe. Got it out a couple days ago, and okay, I got to figure this thing out here and get it broken in. Went through the comments again and just started messing with it. Studied it very carefully. I figured out that slide lock pin comes out best at about 8 o'clock. The manual I think said 6 o'clock. People online were saying 9 o'clock. I discovered on this one that at right about 8 o'clock you can get it out the easiest, okay? And then the most important thing was in how to get it back together. If you put it back in at about 8 o'clock, it doesn't go all the way in, but then swing it around to not 3 o'clock, but about 4 o'clock, maybe 3:30, maybe 3:37. And then hold your mouth right and jiggle it, it'll pop back in. Okay, so I did that repeatedly 2 or 3 times, got my times right on the clock face. You folks that grew up in the digital age, which is a lot of you, you're wondering what I'm talking about, right? By 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and all of that stuff. Just look at a clock face, it'll come to you. So anyway, I've got that thing kind of mastered. I can get it back together now without pulling my hair out. So I just wanted to pass that along. That appeared probably to be a bigger negative in the video than it is. All right. So anyway, for what it's worth, and just thought I'd pass it along. And by the way, that was a gift from a gun shop too. So again, John and I don't care enough if a gun like that comes to our way from a gun shop. We wouldn't take that gun from Smith & Wesson unless it was a T&E gun. But if it's a gift, any gun shop that sends something to us has to know that. It's going to, as I always tell them, we'll give an honest review of it. And that's what we do. So anyway, the little bodyguard has some negatives, but it also is probably not as bad as I made it look. So, but that also brings up the fact that the way we do things is kind of real. Nothing is totally real, but I guess you might have had the same experience with that firearm if you bought it last week. There was no camera on you, maybe, but you were trying to get it apart and struggling with it and couldn't get it back together without a lot of struggling. It just happens to be I was on camera, you know. So in that sense, it was real. But maybe if I had struggled with it for another week or two, I would have figured it out a little bit better. Okay, but so it sort of captured me in the first week of owning that firearm. And while it's not as bad as I made it look, still, it'd be nice if it was easier to break down, wouldn't it? You know, like a SIG or a Glock or any number of other little pistols you can name that are just easier to take apart and put back together. So, but I think it's not really a big problem once you get used to it, and it gets worn a little bit. So, what else was I going to talk about? Let's see. Well, I'm going to shoot this gun. Don't let me forget before we leave because I've got my Barney bullet. Oh yeah, y'all have been reporting a lot of, well, pretty often I'll get a report about someone has stolen another video or 2 or 10, and I appreciate you reporting those. I can't always get over there and do anything about it, but I appreciate you letting me know. And if you can report them anyway, I would appreciate that, because I'm so busy answering your questions and everything else. But I appreciate, you know, the heads up. But then again, I don't always have time to go do something about it. We just we assume you all, I know you support what we're doing, and because you're there, you're watching the videos, and we assume you're watching them on our channel, right? We hope you are, and because I'm sure that 99% of you, probably everybody watching this, but even 99, I hope it's 99%. It might not be quite that high. I like to think 99% of our viewers in general and gun video viewers hate a thief as much as we do. You know, I mean, really, you just like to think that. Maybe it's not true, but I like to think that. You know, because there's just not. Well, there are things worse than a thief, but not a lot. That's pretty low down on the pole, isn't it? So, but anyway, we know you guys are coming to the channel and supporting what we do and watching these brainless videos. So, and to prove that you do, and that you are really supportive, you watch something beyond just my shooting a machine gun, right? You know, you'll watch me sitting in the woods, being silly, and trying to talk to you like you're actually here. You know, so and I realized I was thinking about that. This is sounding more like a radio show, isn't it? But one thing about the radio show, when I do that, I can talk for a little bit, and then I can hit pause, and then I can kind of pick up, because I realized I forgot to say something. You'll probably notice that, you know, on the radio shows. And plus, you're not seeing me. But it dawned on me here recently why I feel a little more awkward when I'm doing the vlogs. Well, because they're unedited is the main reason, right? It's easy to do this kind of thing if you're cutting the tape and, you know, starting over and trying to think of a way to sound smarter and then getting ready to say it smarter and then turn on the camera. I mean, even 10 Outdoors 9 could do that, right? But, sorry. Sorry, guy. But it's the fact that I'm sitting here and the camera never stops, and I might have 4 or 5 different topics to talk about, and what I realize is what makes it feel awkward is the fact that there's no pause between topics, that I just sort of have to figure out a way to change topics. So it's just kind of weird, you know. But anyway, it's fun. I enjoy talking to you, and not shooting guns as much, you know, being able to chat with you. Covering a couple of topics. So I'm rambling again. It's not a radio show, I'm sorry. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, the NRA convention. I don't think we've done a vlog since we got back. Wish you had been there. It was great. A lot of you were. We saw you. We met you. And that was great because I think I did talk about it in a radio show, but we really enjoyed seeing all of you and meeting so many of you there. I mean, that was great. There were so many viewers of you guys running around there, and met a lot of you at the federal booth. Appreciate you coming to the federal booth. I know it surprised, I think, the federal folks that so many of you showed up at the booth. We didn't expect the line, and that was great. We appreciate their support. They're letting us hang out at the booth there, so you would have a place where you could come and find us and say something mean or say something nice or whatever you want, autograph or something like that. A free gun. I gave away 50 free guns, so you folks that didn't show up, you missed out. That was a joke. But it was good. It was good for us to meet you all. And we got to meet some folks we wanted to meet. Got to meet, as you know, I posted on Facebook the picture of Masada Yub and me. And that was great seeing him. If you don't catch the Facebook postings, John spotted him walking along. I think I'd already mentioned to John, if you see Masa Yub, you point him out, because I tend not to see people. He, every hour, he's pointing out to me somebody he spotted, and I don't see him. I'm too busy looking at guns, I guess, or the cute women or something. But John said, there's Masa Yub out there. I said, where? So we saw him at a distance, and I ran him down. I really did. Because I've been reading his books forever, and well, since the 70s, I think early 70s, and reading his magazine articles, and I don't know, he's just, he's not only a real celebrity, he's a smart celebrity. Now, you may not agree with everything he teaches. I know he does a lot of training, and you may not be his biggest fan, I don't know, but I've read almost everything he's written, and that's a task right there. He writes so much. And have followed him for a long time, and he's a very distinctive kind of fellow in the gun rights world and training world and the writing world and all that. And I met him, and I was glad to learn. I was a little apprehensive, because he's the kind of fellow, he's always struck me as somebody who wouldn't suffer fools gladly at all. And he might just think I'm a fool, I might not have been able to hide it from him that I'm a fool, because he's pretty smart. And he might look at me and say, oh, yeah, you're that guy on YouTube. Roll his eyes around. But no, he didn't. He was pleased to meet me. He knew the videos, and I think he wanted me to contact him, or he was going to contact me about being on his podcast or something, and I was not familiar with that. But anyway, it was great to run into him and to meet him. I was loving that. What else we do at the NRA convention? Well, next year it's going to be here in Nashville, so we expect all of you to come to Nashville. If you've never been to Nashville, it's a great city. It's one of those places, you probably already know that, if you've ever talked to anybody that's visited Nashville. There may be something negative about it, but most people love it. I used to travel a lot in the 80s. I was all over the country, and I could tell you why and where I was going, what I was doing, but I'd have to kill you. No, I did a lot of traveling, and anybody I'd ever met that had been to Nashville just raved about it. So it's a great place to visit. It's a small enough town where you can get around, but it's a large enough city that, it's got anything you want almost. So if there's any way possible, put that on your calendar, because that's where the NRA convention is going to be. And again, as I pointed out, it is an NRA convention, but mainly it's one of the biggest gun shows on the planet, short of SHOT Show. So it's something you would really enjoy, I guarantee you. So anyway, think about that. Oh, and I did one last thing before you go. I know you're in a hurry. Forgot to mention the meet and greets. Now we've got one or two of those left on our schedule, and the next one is at Whitaker Guns up in Kentucky. Be up there June the 7th. Looking forward to seeing you. If you live anywhere in the vicinity, you'd better be there, because if you're not, I'll know you're not. So we may come looking for you. May come to your house. So come out if you're anywhere within driving distance, and I'll see you at Whitaker Guns. The one at Bud's Gun Shop and Range, so the new Bud's Gun Shop that's going in over in Pigeon Forge behind Smoky Mountain Knife Works, that one is not going to be open as early as we thought, or at least totally finished. I think the shop will be open earlier, but the range won't be finished. But anyway, that one's pushed back, it looks like, into August or maybe even September. I'll let you know when we're going to be there. All right, so that's all I can think to talk about, at least for today. And, I'm not smart enough to remember anything more than 4 or 5 things, so I'll probably let you go. Let me take a shot. I know you want to see this beauty shot again. We're going to do a chapter 2 with it, I guarantee you. I'm looking forward to that. Let me put my ears on, because it's rather loud. I'll just fire it once. I might shoot my truck. It's over there in the distance. All right. Oh, there's my phone. Let's shoot that. Set trigger. All right. Hair trigger coming up. Oh, nice. Oh, it smells good. 4570. Wish I had a nickel for every one of those I've fired in the last 25, 30, 40 years. Anyway, it's been good to talk with you. You're a little bit quiet today, more quiet than normal, but that's okay. It gave me a chance to ramble, say a lot of meaningless things. I'll wrap up again by letting you know how much we appreciate you all watching. We really do. Every single one of you, young, old, middle-aged, whatever. We appreciate it. Life is good.